TOA community, what's up everybody? Welcome back to traintheolderadult.com. First of all, not a political video. This has nothing to do with politics. We're literally looking at the body of the person that we see in front of you, which today is Robert Kennedy Jr. Now, if you've been watching the news or maybe you've been living under a rock, you haven't seen this, Robert Kennedy put up a, Jr. put up a picture, or somebody put up a picture of him and a video of him down in Venice Beach at the Mecca at Gold's Gym with his shirt off, doing some bench press, doing some push-ups, and it's created quite the stir. So looking at this as a strength and conditioning coach, someone who specializes in the world of working with older populations, Robert Kennedy Jr. is 69 years old. I almost said 59, but that's my chart that I have. 69 years old, okay? And obviously in very good shape. So I wanted to look at this and go, what is his story and his life? Because I really didn't know, other than the last probably 6 months, I haven't even really known anything about him. And I was so happy to see that he takes such good care of himself physically. I was like, this is fantastic. I want to be able to have somebody that we could look in the world of politics and say, there's an image of someone that embraces fitness, right? And a very good, obvious answer to that. And so I think this is pretty solid. I went back and I found pictures as early as the 90s where he's still, I mean, I know these are a little fuzzy, sorry, the best I could find. Not overweight by any means. And I don't know if he was lifting and what he was doing. Here's into the 2000s. And now, you know, as we see him into the 2020s and so on, there were some suggestions and some thoughts in here of, is he on, you know, TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, HGH, human growth hormone, etc. I don't know, who knows? It looks, either way, if you're taking something like that and or if you're not, you don't naturally end up getting muscles like this just by being. You have to put in time and effort and work hard, okay? And what I'm looking at here is a near 70-year-old man who, the average 70-year-old out there, mind you, a video that I did not too long ago where it stated in multiple locations that we found this information, the average American dies at 71, okay? And so it was like 71 to 73 was between men and women and so forth, okay, were the average ages that people were living. So this guy is, you know, by average, a year or two away from hitting that average mark of where most Americans die. Definitely not a body composition, excessive fat issue, okay? We don't see that at all. This is a very good example of a body composition positive, where meaning he is over muscle mass. Not like he's over muscle mass, he can't move, but for an average individual at 69, 70 years old, they do not typically have this amount of muscle mass, at least on his upper body that we can see. We will talk about his legs in a moment, okay? As I have a little bit of proof that suggests maybe some chicken legs going on under those jeans. Anyhow, I don't want to jump the shark, okay? So considering the amount of muscle mass that he has at this age, this is exceptional, okay? I can't find stats on what he weighs, on how tall, other than I think he's 6 foot tall, and I think it was like 185 to 205 was a range they said that he's weighed. That's all that I could find for the most part, okay? So I'm kind of like a slightly bigger than average guy. I think the average American is 5'10", 195 or 200, so he's pretty much right around average. But for the average 69 to 70-year-old, he is over muscle massed, exceptional. Because he has that much muscle mass on him, bone density, typically, because you have that amount of muscle mass and you're working hard to develop that muscle mass, in return, your bones will become very dense because you're stressing the muscles that originate and insert onto those bones. And so they are being placed under constant stress. And thus, unless you have some type of immune disease or something where your body is attacking itself and the bones are not growing back as dense as it should, if you have that kind of muscle mass on your frame, your bones in return will become very dense. So do we have to concern ourselves with I'm just going to keep saying 70, okay? I know he's 69. With a 70-year-old RFK who is going to be going to have osteoporosis and or being osteoarthritic. We don't know about the arthritis component, but as far as the osteoporosis component goes, I would lend towards not. Posture is good. His head, I watched him on the Joe Rogan Experience, and so his mobility for his head and neck is good. I've seen postural pictures of him. His posture is pretty sound. So there's definitely nothing that would indicate to me that he's having any kind of early onset of frailty that would lend towards his body posture and composition not being where it should. If anything, it's above, okay? Which I think this is a great example. Now, when we get into the actual videos and the images of what he's doing, respect here, okay? Number one, look at the dude benching next to him, okay? He's got 375 pounds. Oh, those are 35s. So he's got 395 pounds on an incline bench. Dude, okay? That's a ton. Excuse my language, but that's a shit ton of weight to incline bench press, okay? So when you look at that and you're like, oh, RFK's got, 100 and he's got, so those are 25s, the big ones, right, that he has on his bar. And the bar is 45. So that puts him at 95 pounds. And then he's got a 10 on each side. So he's at 95, 105, 115, okay, or 50 kilos, 52 kilos, right around in there. Okay, it kind of gives you an idea of where he's at. And that's on an incline bench, and I think he does like 8 reps, and then he's got a couple forced reps. I'll show you the video. I think I have the video here. Yeah, here we go. So he does like 8 reps, and then he does some forced reps. I got this from Dr. Tina. Dr. Tina, thank you for putting this up there. Okay. Now, I don't know this for sure, but we have a workout called the Impossible Push-Up. It was inspired by Mark Kassenbrock, one of our clients. As a wrestler, he would do these workouts where they would get him on a bench press machine, like a selectorized machine, and they would put, 100 pounds on there, and he would do as many as he could. And then they go 90, and he'd do as many, and then 80, as many, and then all the way down to the end to where the bar by itself was super hard to press. And then they'd flip him over, and all of his buddies would hold him up, and he'd lock his arms out, and they'd say, now do a push-up. And he goes, all you could do was turn your face so you didn't hit your nose and your face on the ground because your arms were so spent, it was impossible to do a push-up. Now, could I do this with my older populations? No. I would damage people. We'd start breaking shoulders and whatever else. So we looked at that and we said, how can we make something that's very similar to that would be challenging? And so our impossible push-up was a bench press variation, a chest fly variation. And when I say variations, it could be dumbbells, it could be a barbell, Swiss bar, incline, decline, flat, whatever we wanted. It was a bench press variation, a chest fly variation, a dip variation, a tricep extension variation, and then we would attempt to do push-ups on a bench or on the floor if our clients were exceptional, okay? And our goal was, we had 3 times we were gonna go through this. And as you do it, the battle is, if you can't do a push-up, I win. If you can do 1 push-up, you win, right? And so the challenge now, you can make anybody not be able to do a push-up. I could simply just make them do more reps until they can't move the implement, and they go to the next one, they can't move the implement, they go to the next, can't move it. You could do that, or you could have them do like 8, 8, 8, 8, or whatever it is all the way through, and then they have some reserves so they can successfully do some push-ups. You can make anything impossible. The point is, as the coach, is can I get to a point where they're capable of doing 10 of these, 10 of these, 10 of these, 10 of these, and then maybe 1 or 2 push-ups. Like there's a line we're trying to hit where they could do 1, but they might not, right? Like they're right on the line. That's what we want to get to, is like the thought, the hope, the goal, that I can just barely, nope, I can't. And they're down, that's success. Either way, they do 1 or they don't, that's what I'm searching for, okay? But to just smash them and be like, okay, you couldn't do a push-up, loser, that's not what we're looking for. So from what I could see through discussions and everything else is he's doing like tear down type workouts here where he did the incline bench and then he went and did some chest flies and then he did some dips and then he'd pop down on the floor and then he attempted to do the push-ups. Here's my push-up video, okay? Then he attempted to do push-ups. So as you're watching them, it's gonna cycle back here. My recording picked up about halfway through. So I mean, look at that frame. Dude's got traps, he's got delts, he's got triceps for days. As Matthew McConaughey says, those are the work muscles, not the show muscles. 2, 3, now he's not locking out. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He goes to a knee on 9. Yeah, gets a little knee tapping down there. Not a big deal. Obviously working to a stripped down effect of, I'm just gonna go until I can't do anymore. He's super pumped when he gets done, right? Triceps are all swollen. He's got a great pump going on. I'm really impressed with this. Number one, most people over 50 can't do push-ups, let alone a push-up, okay? So to be able to do this after doing all the other stuff, I'm trying to put into perspective here for you. It's impressive to just be able to do that bench press at 115 for 8 to 10 reps or whatever he did, okay? And then just be able to do dips and then just be able to do chest flies. It's impressive to be able to do those lifts combined and then pop down and do push-ups. I think this is pretty cool. This is an individual that's built a frame that had to put in a pretty decent amount of work to do so, okay? So if we're looking at 115 for 8 reps on like a projected scale, remember incline is gonna be 75% of your flat bench, and then your decline is gonna be like 120% of your flat bench, okay? So for easy math, if I can do 100 pounds on a flat bench press, laying flat on my back, if I can do 100 pounds once, if you go to an incline, your incline, because of the angle you're pushing on, it's not as close to 90 degrees as it would be. It's more like, 60, 75, somewhere around in there. So as you're pushing on that angle, it's a harder angle to stabilize weight. So I would only be able to do maybe 80 pounds, okay? So I can flat bench 100, I can incline at 80 pounds, but I could do like 120 or 125 pounds on a decline because the angle, the C-cup angle of my shoulder, and because I'm pushing down at an angle, that angle is less than 90 degrees and it's working with the mechanics of my shoulder. It's an easier angle for me to push on. So you can typically decline bench press more than you can flat bench, and then you're typically going down about 20% on average-ish on the incline, okay? So anywhere you can vary from up and down. My point is if he was doing 115 for 8 reps on an incline, that probably means he can do close to 12 to 15 reps, if not more, on a flat bench, which means he could probably do like 20 to 25 on a decline. So he's got some pretty good upper body strength. I am certain he can do more than just 9 push-ups. If you just said, hey, we're just starting our workout, let's see how many push-ups you can work up to. I'm guessing he could do 30, 40, 50 push-ups, which is pretty amazing muscular endurance and strength development at this age, at any age, but specifically at this age, okay? How much should he be able to bench at his age? The chart that I found here, this is a real simple little search on the internet real quick. It was just a simple one. It was like, how much should you be able to bench for your age? So for the 50 to 59s, they should be able to bench press about 75% of their body weight. So let's say he weighs 200 pounds, 75% would be 150, okay? Now that's 150 once, is what we're saying. He just did 115 for a set of 8 to 10. So when you go onto the calculators of this, if you're doing 115, let's say 8 times, then you should be able to do 100 pounds for like 15. Anyway, they correlate where you can traject and see if I went heavier, how many should I be able to do? And so if he's supposed to be able to do 150 once and he can do 115 8 times, he can definitely do 150 one time. So he's I'm going to say probably quite a bit more than just one. I think he's well ahead. Now that was the 50 to 59-year-old. So that's actually 10 years before this level. He's already at a disadvantage. It may be even less. It may be like 60% of your body weight or 70%, even if it was just 5% less, right? My point is, this is impressive. It's something to admire the physique. Now, my one thing I will say, this picture, there's a reason he's wearing jeans. I'm gonna say that. He's not, rocking the Arnold short shorts because he's got some beautiful quads that he wants to display. He's got a nice tan upper body. This is my Sasquatch photo of him. Sorry, it's so blurry. But you guys get the idea. He's in jeans for a reason, and I think it's because he misses leg day. So I would suggest, Rob, come on, man. You got to start doing some legs, brother, especially some hamstring work. You got to take care of that back. We're very upper body dominant. You definitely have some lats when you get up. I can see your lats. You got some wings back there. So you're doing your rows. I'm good with that. You got some delts. You got some tries. You got some buys. I mean, McConaughey would be happy with those show muscles. You're looking pretty good on the upper half. I'm going to say 10 out of 10. The lower body, though, we got to get some more leg work in there. Now, he may have some type of injury that only, like Arnold, his knees are all banged up, so he just bikes now. However, he would be training his legs more if he could. RFK, my advice as your honorary and unofficial coach would be get in the trap bar, right? Get in there, start deadlifting, start working on those hands, those quads, get your lower body to match your upper. As someone right now who's desperately pursuing to try to get his upper body to match his lower body, I think I could help you in the leg department if you ever need it. All right, everybody, having some fun with this. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, not a political video, but now that you know how much he can bench, I should say to everybody, here's how you should vote for president. Definitely go out and vote for, I'm just kidding. It has nothing to do with that. I just, whoever benches the most should be able to run for, yeah, I don't think so. Why don't we deadlift then? Why don't we see who can clean the most? Who can preacher bicep curl? Who can preacher reverse grip bicep curl the most? Those are your pen signing muscles. That's what you're gonna need to be a good president. I'm so full of shit. I hope you enjoyed this. I was having fun. I hope you're having fun. Please leave comments down below, share, like, subscribe, put them out there for any family members, anybody you think might find this entertaining. All right, loved you all. Continue to fight your good fight against sarcopenia, just like RFK. Get in the weight room, make me proud. I love you. Peace. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.